mean,
I
that
never
point,
tested positive. I never tested positive throughout
the
that.
ship sailed at that point. You know.
Yeah.
Did anybody else in your family get it?
Only Albert.
Wow.
Everybody tested. I mean, I don't think everybody tested every day, but we tested frequently. Like,
Probably a false
and,
positive.
And alternated. No, I mean, he
was out. Yeah.
He was sick.
We found the weakest link.
Always has been, always will be, I think.
I think the false positive rate is exceptionally low.
Especially on PCR. Which
Yeah.
probably was.
It seems like false negative, like we would have gotten it and just didn't have enough to test positive or whatever it was. That seems more likely than the fact that it was a false positive.
For sure.
But ancient history now. We should go watch our stream as well.
What are we doing tonight? I've got a very briefish type of Q&A pillar that I could
Love it.
rock with.
Yeah, it sounds like
It's
exactly
going to be me
what-
questioning Jeffrey
Oh,
Love it.
about his life
not-
choices.
hope it's not about like insider information here. You're not
No.
grilling me on stock ideas, are you?
No.
Because I don't want to talk about that.
The stock market is a garbage fire right now. Dumpster fire, as they say.
All right, I'm gonna cut the music. Let's get going.
Or we can play that one game.
Music now?
That was fun.
Codenames was fun last time.
Welcome to the Good Guys to Know podcast. Good Guys to Know podcast. Welcome to the Good Guys to Know podcast. Good Guys to Know podcast. Good Guys to Know podcast. Good Guys to Know podcast.
Welcome to the Good Guys to Know podcast, a bi-weekly production to bring you information on a variety of topics guaranteed to mold you into a good guy to know. My name is Gio. It is my pleasure to introduce you to the rest of the Good Guys to Know. We've got Chad
What's up?
and Mitch
Hey, guys.
and Big Daddy Perrick.
What's up,
Who's your
everybody?
daddy? Who's
Oh,
your
yeah.
daddy?
I think I still have that.
For three of you out there, it's Perrick.
I do.
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, are we going there?
Not just any daddy. I think
So we hit
Yeah, we
double
could go there.
digits of Spawn,
Oh my God,
right?
really?
we did.
Yeah, we just crossed the
10
10.
kids?
right?
Watch out, world.
That's a
We've
lot of
more than
kids.
replaced ourselves. Overpopulation, Malthus.
What? Malthus? What is it? I don't know what that means.
Malthus. Something Malthus. He predicted that like by the year 1900 the world would be too populous to support with the food that we had or something, and we'd die off or something.
He predicted
Strong
a lot
prediction.
of things, right?
And this is like 6 billion. Now we're like 7 billion people after that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
this isn't.
he was wrong.
There's
Thomas Malthus.
not Nostradamus. Wasn't he the other guy who would predict stuff?
Yeah. Nostradamus was like the predict
OG.
everything, and then
Cherry pick.
Yeah.
See what happens. Mm.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Perrick.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Everyone. I mean, can we say everyone's happy and healthy?
Everybody's
know.
happy and healthy. Everything is at this point great.
Fantastic.
enough said.
We're
Lot of
happy
sleep.
for you, man.
Everybody's sleeping. Everybody's eating. It's all good.
Sweet.
All the
As
tests have
much
been
as-
passed.
Love it.
That's
Love
all
it.
good.
Love it. Love it.
All good.
Congrats, man.
Thanks.
And as good guys to know, we like to start each episode with one of our favorite drinks in hand. I'm almost out of my second gin and tonic. It's been a little bit of a day. It's been a lot of bit of an evening. I'm ready to.
I mean, we can
pass
take over
out.
for a little bit if you want to go fill her up.
I'm close to the fridge. I think I'll just switch to beer after this. But
Too close. Wait, what's the quote? Too close for missiles. Switching to guns.
Switching to guns. Yeah, I was the sober driver last night for Perrick, so I'm curious to see what he's drinking tonight.
I feel like we just heard this story last
time,
podcast.
yeah. Well, this
every
new Friday
2 weeks.
time slot.
Every 2 weeks. Well, every week Gio and I are in a golf league, right? Every Thursday, and it's far away, so we carpool because we live close to each other. And so, last week I drove, this week he drove, and so since we podcast every 2 weeks,
yeah,
we're gonna have lots of Perrick stories for the show.
We're gonna have lots of drunk Perrick. And I'm just the angel.
Gio will have to be the one to tell the stories because I can't remember them.
That's awesome. What are you drinking, Perrick?
I do have a little small glass of mezcal.
Ooh.
It's okay. I didn't get like a really expensive thing. I don't know how much it was. It was like $30 or something, $25, $30.
Is that the one that's like it's smokier than tequila or something?
It's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know anything about it, but to me, yeah, that's the feeling I got. It's like the difference between Scotch and regular whiskey. It's like
Bourbon
Scotch
or
has all that
something.
like smoke and earthy, peaty, all that crap. That's all in here. It tastes like, so it's not great. Like I was kind of expecting a little more tequila flavor.
Same thing when I had mezcal. It was just kind of like, I really like the idea of it, that it might be a little more complex and smoky and different, and it just kind of
It's not what I wanted. I didn't want something more complex.
More artificially or something, or more like tinny, or I don't know. It wasn't.
It tastes like it got spilled in the dirt and then reclaimed into a bottle. That's kind of what
charred
just ringing endorsements for mezcal on this podcast.
Yeah. I also have a Squirt Zero Sugar. I bought this thinking it would mix well with mezcal or tequila, tequila and grapefruit.
Squirt.
And the Squirt is amazing, but mixing it with the mezcal is a mistake. Tastes disgusting.
I don't know if the audio is doing it on the stream, but you're like doing the ducking thing again. I don't know.
Yeah, you're big ducking.
Like
big ducking.
Like if we're talking and you try to break in, you're just so quiet that you can't.
All right, it should be fixed.
Talk over you, which I don't know. Yeah, not be the worst thing.
Soundboard problems with Discord, Discord
like every day.
No, it just I don't know. It gives me some trouble sometimes. It should be fixed now.
Yeah, sounds better now.
Yeah.
Mitch, what are you drinking?
I've got my standard, what has kind of become my go-to during this this sobriety, which we're entering the final month. We got till June 15th, so we've almost done it. But yeah, this hop water is great. But I just figured out that like a lot of, you guys know I kind of trend set when it comes to my beverages and culinary or whatever. I've seen in the last 2 weeks, and maybe it's one of those things where like you buy a car and you start seeing that car everywhere on the road, and so now that I'm looking for this,
for sure what this is, you trendsetter.
I have seen a lot of like local breweries and stuff that are making this stuff, this non-alcoholic like hop infused drink. They're all over the place. So
we have had
this anymore.
We had a couple dozen views of our last stream that you had it on, I think. So
word
might be getting around.
Like I'm not. So I shouldn't say I set the trend, but I definitely am an early.
You're coincided.
I'm on the pulse. Yeah, exactly. So if you listen to me, you're probably on the pulse too, right?
I just love how being on the pulse is enjoying the taste of hops. Like that's the new
non-alcoholic hops.
It's obviously not that. It's having a LaCroix that's flavored as hops. A hop flavored LaCroix.
You mean like a beer without the alcohol, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Not really. No. This is not an NA beer.
Go with your first instinct.
This is not an NA beer. NA beer has been around forever. This is
forever?
Sparkling hop water crafted with adaptogens and nootropics.
I forgot about the adaptogens. You're so right.
Do you remember when I probably had it on the podcast, where Leah made me buy these fancy, they were called Recess. They were like sparkling water, but they had adaptogens in them. And they were like $2.50 a can. It's like you had to go to GNC to get them.
Oh
It's
boy.
like-
This
Those
specific brand,
adaptogens.
this specific brand you can only get in like co-ops, and like I mail ordered this, and so it's way too expensive. But now I'm seeing all these other ones that you can just get in the liquor store. So once these are gone, I'm gonna go try out some of these local ones. Fulton has one, Fair State has one. There's more.
Mitch,
I mean,
follow me
it's
for
probably
a second.
and they all are non-alcoholic though, right? So it's
Correct.
probably a good idea for you're out with friends and you don't want to
Right.
drink, or you're the sober cab or whatever. I mean, that's great for bars to have.
Yep.
You ready for this idea, Mitch? Lacto water.
Oh,
Lacto didn't catch on yet. I'm still not.
oh, that sounds so gross. That's like you have a glass of milk
think
at
it's
dinner,
called
and then you want
milk.
some water, and you pour it in your used milk glass.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
disgusting.
And it's got like the little white, just
Hey,
kind of
It's got to be in a can. You don't want to be able to see any of that shit.
Yeah.
That's one that I'm still maybe it was a little too early to. We'll get there though. It'll get there.
Oh, you're the official trendsetter of the podcast, so it's only a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
True.
What about you, Puff? What are you drinking?
Well, I'm declaring the fact that the Minnesota summer has arrived because
Hell yeah.
we had our first 90-degree day earlier this week. You guys got hit by some
Weather.
storms, some
Yeah, we
big
did.
ones. We down here avoided. But in honor of the arrival of summer before the middle of May, I'm drinking White Claws. Raspberry. And I'm halfway through my second of 3, so watch out. Could be a fun night.
Here we go. Ain't no laws when you're
Yeah,
drinking claws,
to
right,
summer.
Chad?
What was the White Claw like craze summer? Was it like 2018 or
2,
2019?
3 years ago.
Yeah.
How about
think it
not
would've
your
been
father's root
20.
beer? Remember that summer?
19 or 20 even.
Yeah.
Not your dad's. I think that was the summer before White Claw, right?
Not your father's
I
root
think
beer.
that's probably true. I think you're right.
Yeah. I think
But
White
that-
Claw was 20 and the root beer was 19.
White Claw was like 17 or 18. Yeah.
Maybe
yeah,
You're
for
yeah.
you,
so
'cause you're
far
so
out ahead
early.
of the trends. Your
Maybe
sense
it
of
was for
time
me. You
has
know what? You're
warped.
right. You're right. It might have been that my White Claw
Your White Claw summer.
was probably 17 or 18. That's probably true.
Oh boy. Did we even do a challenge the last
We
time?
did. It was my challenge, and I
I
hope.
agree, Kojak, on the barfing with the White Claw. I can't believe how many of those I drank in 17.
He might have been talking about the milk water, but I don't know.
Lacto.
Lacto water. I
So-
don't remember the challenge.
The
It was
challenge.
your challenge, I think, Gio.
No, it was
No,
mine.
You
it
don't
was two
remember it
ago.
at all?
That was 2 ago. That was the pizza challenge, right?
Yeah.
That was 2 ago.
Yep. It was
This is
my
a sports
challenge
take.
this time. It was a hot take for Minnesota sports. Specifically Minnesota sports hot take.
I can do this.
Right? Or was it just a sports hot take?
I thought it was just sports. That
I have
doesn't
to go to
matter.
the
I
listeners
didn't
on
do it.
this. Oh, okay.
So,
None of you guys did it. I
Minute
definitely
says-
did
yeah,
do it.
we should just check the spreadsheet. It's probably listed.
You got it on the spreadsheet, Jeffrey?
I can't. The spreadsheet
I have been
joke
keeping
now
track
has.
of spreadsheets. I have been doing this so far this year. I have all challenges on a spreadsheet.
I can't tell anymore if it's come full circle and you're screwing with us and you don't have one, or you actually do. Like I now believe either equally.
And why aren't you sharing it if you have one?
Maybe I don't have all of them. We've been 1, 2.
Maybe he's just
NFTs,
delusional and he thinks
Wordle.
he's doing it.
Discord gambling, gaming with kids, unique pizza, spring cleaning.
Okay, so
And
that's
this was sports
that'll be
take.
7
Yeah.
challenges.
You're caught up.
I'm pretty good, I think.
Nice.
So yeah, in your face.
Okay.
So the next challenge is going to have to be buy a new computer because I'm still waiting on Chrome to open, which contains my challenge data. So what I decided to do is try to take a dive into what Minnesota sports fans should be doing with their time. I know that the Minnesota Vikings are the most popular professional, at least, sports team, but I think sports team overall in Minnesota, based on viewership, and I think based on one of the articles I was reading, based on Facebook mentions and Twitter mentions and those kinds of things as well. I think next was the Minnesota Twins. Then it was like Gophers football before
Wild,
you
isn't
even
it?
get to before you even get to the Timberwolves, and then the Wild.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it's like Lynx, and then Minnesota United in the MLS team, which is kind of where I cut it off. Apparently, there's some like professional Minnesota frisbee golf team or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that's all about, but
They're called the Wind Frolfers. Yes.
so let me pull up my data. What I did is I tried to take a look at which team is most worth your time as a fan to follow. So I tried to calculate.
Great
Make a
idea.
rubric?
Oh
boy.
I don't
Mitch.
think so. What's your definition of a rubric?
You didn't make one.
A scoring method where you
Yeah.
have categories that you assign a score to that lets you
No,
determine
not exactly
which one
that.
is the best.
Not. I didn't assign my own subjective score. I just have the raw data in an Excel spreadsheet. Well, a Google sheet that I'm pulling up right now. So what I did is I took a look at.
Can you
For
share
each
it?
team-
Would this be interesting for us to see?
If you want to, but I'm not counting on my computer to be able to pull anything off with any speed. So let me just.
I mean, if
kinda-
I can open it on my computer, I can show it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let me share it. I will try to do that now.
Just IM me the link. I mean, DM me. Slide into my DMs, bro.
I'm gonna share it via Google straight to your. What address do you want?
You can send me an email.
I guess so. I don't know
Copy
how.
the link. Copy the link.
What's a
right
better
Files
in
that
the
are
chat,
in the
bro.
computer.
The files are in the computer.
Hold
You
on.
display like a QR code.
Be nice. Okay, I'm gonna share it with Peric.
Do you want me to do my hot take quick, or?
Yeah, go ahead
Good
while I'm
idea.
doing
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah.
So my hot take. My hot take is so the joke or whatever, kind of the fact is that all Minnesota sport teams fall flat. Like the Wild this year, really, really good year, lose in the first round of the playoffs. Like that's like our literally perpetual story is teams falling short, even when they make it to big games. So I also think that Minneapolis is a relatively small market, right? Like it's not New York, it's not LA. There just aren't as many people to support all of these teams. So the hot take is get rid of them. Not all of them, but at least half of them. And I think the teams.
Teams.
Of all
Get
the
rid of
professional
them.
sports teams. So
So
that
the Vikings they've had like probably the most success. Arguably the Twins had more success since they won some World Series in the 80s
Are
and 90s.
you kidding me right now? Go on.
So they're the most popular. So keep the Vikings. Get rid of the Twins. Get rid of the Wild. Get rid of the Timberwolves. Here's the thing. I'm thinking we pump all of our collective sports energies into this one team. We let things boil over for 5 to 10 years, and we start over with a fresh new franchise that gets all the excitement of bringing something new in, and we wipe the slate clean.
And you're suggesting we do that with the Timberwolves, the Lynx, and
No,
the Vikings?
No, we keep the Vikings.
The Vikings, the Lynx, and the soccer team, Minnesota United?
Sure. I think we get rid of the
really counting the Lynx in the soccer team.
Not really. But I think the reason I think this is maybe an interesting take is because the Timberwolves were recently, like last year, acquired by a new ownership group. And one of the partners of that ownership group is Alex Rodriguez, who has like deep ties to both Seattle and New York. And so there's lots of conversations about them taking the Timberwolves and bringing them back to Seattle and having a Seattle Supersonics team again, because Seattle doesn't have an NBA team anymore.
Mm-hmm. Could happen. Be interesting because the Timberwolves are young and exciting. They had a great year. They lost in the first round of the playoffs, but best Timberwolves team we've had in a long time. Not even close.
Probably like the most valuable the Timberwolves have ever been is right now.
I think that's probably true. Peric, did you get the share that I sent you?
Yeah, let me.
So, Gio, I like that take. That's interesting. It's hot. It's steamy.
Definitely hot. Yeah.
You can't get rid of all of them, but let's keep the Vikings. Let's burn everybody else to the ground.
Oh, I messed this all up with our gaming last week. Sorry.
My take was couched on the idea that we kind of know as Minnesota sports fans that the teams we follow are not the most winningest Minnesota sport teams. I think even Mitch might know the most winningest Minnesota professional sports team. Do you know what it might be, Mitch? Take a guess.
Of the ones that you just mentioned? Or
I mean,
I think that winningest Lynx haven't the Lynx been dominant for like a decade? Women's basketball,
it's not even close.
Right.
So
like
if you look at
crazy.
if you look at the Lynx, I wrote this down. They won the championship in 2011, 2013, 2015, and 2017. They lost in the championship game in 2012 and 2016. That's insane.
Like
the Vikings,
a decade of dominance.
The Vikings have been to the Super Bowl one time, I think, and lost to the Chiefs.
I think we've lost 4 Super Bowls. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say I think the Vikings have lost 4 Super Bowls.
Peric's hot take. Hot take. Vikings lost 4 Super Bowls. Well, we've definitely never won a Super Bowl, and we haven't been to one since a long time ago. The Twins have 2 World Series championship wins in our childhood, right? 87 and 91.
91
maybe 89 and 91, something like that. That's pretty cool. The Timberwolves have never, I don't think, won the NBA championship.
No.
I don't think.
Definitely not.
They certainly haven't been close in a long
They've been to the
time.
playoffs for like 10 years.
Yeah, they've been bad. They've been
Except
real bad. MLS is a little too early to say much, but in reviewing their records for my chart, Minnesota's not good. Middle of the pack to lower end of the pack. Now, the Wild had a very good year, as Gio said. They just last night finished a very disappointing loss in the first round to the St. Louis Blues. But they also, like the Timberwolves, are a relatively young team with arguably the rookie of the year in the NHL in Kirill Kaprizov.
He's not a rookie.
Oh, second year. Like one of the most exciting youngest players in the sport.
Yes, for sure.
Really good season, really good team. So I wanted to take a look at, let's say I am Mitch. This is kind of how I was focusing on this, and I kind of want to get into some Minnesota sports, but I am a father of 3. I don't have a ton of time. Where am I going to get my best return on investment as it pertains to Minnesota sports? And so I tried to calculate that by basing like how long does it take to watch a game, how many games are there in a season, and how much of enjoyment am I going to get out of those minutes, essentially.
It sounds like a rubric, I just got to tell you.
Okay, it sounds rather rubric-y.
It sounds awesomely rubric-y.
Okay, so there are big variabilities when it comes to the amount of time spent on a team. Let's go through this. So the Wild in the NHL, they have 82 games per season, about 140 minutes per game. So minutes per season, 11,480. They are at the top end, but don't even come close to touching the Twins, who play 162 games in a season, 188 minutes a game for a total of 30,456 minutes to watch a regular season. The Vikings have the shortest season,
of course,
17 games, which is new. You 16 until last year, but now we're going forward with 17. 192 minutes per game, so they have the longest per game sit down. Now I'm including commercial time, where I try to gather like average viewership time, not the time of the action in the game, right? So 192 minutes per game, but for a season, only 3,264 minutes in the regular season, a tenth of the time you would spend watching the Twins. Timberwolves come in at 12,300 minutes per season, so they're kind of around the Wild. The Lynx come in super low, 3,840. So they are about 120 minutes per game, but they only have typically like a 32 game season compared to 82 for the Timberwolves. Now this was made it a little bit difficult to calculate because what I found, and I never would have known this otherwise, that the WNBA has been playing around with how many games they even should have in a season. I think it's based on how many they can support and sales and all that kind of stuff. So there was a big deal about this coming year, 22, they're going to have 34 games per season, which is a new record. In these calculations, I decided to just get rid of the COVID years because they were half seasons, they were weirdness, it would just threw everything off. So Lynx, not much time, 3,800 minutes, just slightly over the 3,200 for Viking. And then we have Minnesota United, MLS coming in 1,000 minutes to watch a season. All right. So then I took a look at what happened in the most recent season. And then I took a second look at what happened in the most recent 5 seasons, excluding COVID, because it was just hard to capture the data. So if we look at the most wins per hour of viewership last year, what are your guesses? Any ideas? Oh, or you're seeing my sheet. Maybe it's not guess time.
I'm not seeing your sheet.
Okay.
Most
wins per hour of viewership.
It's got to be the Lynx. It's got to be the Lynx, right? Because there's so few games and still winning. So winning.
Lynx are number 1. Wins per hour for the Lynx is 0.3. So for every 3 hours you watch the Lynx, they will win a game.
You're gonna see a win.
Pretty cool. Second after that is the Wild. They come in at 0.27 wins per hour.
That's pretty
Not
good.
bad. Third is the Timberwolves.
What?
They came in last season. Remember, they did pretty well. 0.22 wins per hour. Now let's compare that to the most commonly watched, most popular team, the Minnesota Vikings. 0.147 wins per hour last year.
Tough look.
Not great, even though they have a low minutes per season, right? So they're like one of the easiest entry points as far as time committed. You still are not getting the wins per hour out of it. So you decide what you're looking for. Just enough to say you're a fan or actually some reward as a fan. Right?
So hit me with the hot take. Is it time?
Not quite yet. We'll get there. Let's take a look at, okay, last year might have been a teams. Last 5 years for which we have data. Lynx number 1. We're talking wins per hour. Wild number 2. Vikings, interestingly, number 3. They did have some good years in the last 5, so maybe last year was just a down year. Now, the absolute winningest team is the Lynx. The other thing that I tried to calculate is maybe you're not so much about the win, but like the friends you made along the way, the points scored, right? So this got a little bit weird because there's obviously very few points scored in the NHL and the MLS. There's a lot in basketball.
It's also not a great analogy, but like keep going with it.
When it came to football, I decided to exclude field goals from points scored. People want touchdowns. The people want touchdowns.
Definitely a
right?
rubric.
And because
I
I had
the rubric to fit your conclusion. That's what I love about rubrics.
because I had the data, I just went with touchdowns.
Start with the conclusion and then work back into the rubric. That
Did you say like, oh no, I didn't put any subjectivity?
Yeah,
I tried not.
I tried raw numbers.
But not the facts that have field goals. Those
But nobody likes field goals.
You can't compare these things perfectly. It's just you can't compare an NBA game that has 120 points per game to a hockey game that has 8 points per game split between the two teams. So when we look at points per hour last year, Wolves came in first, Lynx came in second. So this is interesting. The basketball teams score a lot of points. I just included every point. So there's more constant excitement, which I think is why Gio likes the NBA, because there's always something happening. He doesn't have any patience to wait for something like the NHL or the MLS. But
MLB.
it's interesting that the Wolves score more points per hour, even though the Lynx have more wins per hour. If you're really looking for, I want to see buckets, I want to see dunks, I want to see things happening, then the Timberwolves might be more your jam. So it goes Wolves, Lynx,
Nice.
then Twins, right? So
Really?
the Twins haven't been at the top of our list for a while, but a run scored in baseball is pretty exciting. You're going to get more runs. We're going to call that a point. More points per hour with the Twins than you would with the United or the Wild, who come in last in this metric. So if you're going to be a Wild fan, you got to hang in there, man. You got to understand that you're going to win a lot of games, but you're not going to see a lot of points, and that's just the way it is. All right? So the hot take is, go ahead.
So that's probably why people drink so heavily at hockey games. It's like
Probably.
there is fucking nothing going
It's
on.
really
Like, you better
interesting. I
drink.
mean, that's not true though. Did you watch the playoffs?
I did. I Farron even, she was like, I was like, the game's on, and I'd flip on Wild Hockey. Like, literally never watch Wild Hockey.
I asked my neighbor who was big into it to please explain icing and offsides in hockey to me, and so I understood, and I knew the Wild were good, so I put some time in watching it. It's not boring. It's not boring. There is constant excitement going on. No, even though there's not a lot of goals, there's a lot of, it could happen right now, and it didn't. And there's power plays. Shit.
I will say this Caprill, the Thrill guy, is
He's good.
the real deal.
He's
That guy
awesome.
is super fun to watch.
Yeah. So here's my hot take. The first part of it's not hot. It's something we've known for a long time. We should all be way bigger followers of the Lynx.
Lynx, yeah.
They do not get the credit they deserve. Not just because they're better in these metrics, but they have fucking won the league. Like, 4 times in the last 10 years? It's crazy how dominant they've been.
I
Interestingly,
probably have watched less than 10 minutes of women's basketball in my life.
yeah. Well,
I mean, men's
interestingly,
basketball is probably under 2 hours, but
the WNBA season just started, and the Lynx are off to a terrible start. I think they're like 0-4 or something right now.
Can you
They're
catch
kind of in
them
a
on-
rebuild.
so where could I watch that? Like, is it on network TV?
I think sometimes ESPN, sometimes ESPN Plus, probably.
It's like ESPN 3. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have the viewership, right? This doesn't have some of the excitement of the men's game and all that kind of stuff. But if you're looking for success, they're it. They are the definition of success. And there are a lot of WNBA have a lot of following that haven't had nearly the success that the Lynx have. So you could definitely do worse as a Minnesota sports fan than throwing your energy into the WNBA.
There's a guy from our investment club who goes to like every Lynx game. He has season tickets. Like, I think it's cheap season tickets, and like not a ton of people go, so it's like a fantastic experience.
Yeah. It's in the Target Center. It's where the Timberwolves play. You just have better seats, and you have way more wins, way more success.
It's the closest I've ever been to buying season tickets to a sporting team was Lynx. I think part of it is because I have 2 daughters, and it's like, be cool to like support that women's basketball. Someday, as long as they don't start sucking like everybody else in Minnesota, I'll own those
the
tickets.
Minnesota regression to the disappointment, disappointment in Minnesota sports.
I think the thing that surprised me, I think most, was the points per hour metric. I would have expected the Wild to not be last at. I think the games won for the Wild is interesting enough to pique my interest for them a little bit more. But I kind of need some excitement in each game, not just a win at the end of a 3-hour sit. So I
I'd
might
be
have to
interested to
knock
know,
them down the list.
like, what the next, I don't know what the math term would be, like derivative of that, or like basically taking out. So how many goals are there in an NHL season total, and what percentage of those do the Wild have? And if that would make like the Wild's wins more interesting because
relative to other hockey teams.
Oh, interesting.
All that data is incredibly available. I mean, it was not hard to.
And it
gather
also
this
would make it
stuff.
easier to compare maybe the difference between hockey and basketball, and not
Sure.
just nominally like
What percentage of the total excitement provided by the league is from your team?
yeah.
Yeah, potentially.
Because
I was also
if the
surprised
Timberwolves
that
score 120 points a game, but they lose 130 to 120 every week, that they shouldn't beat the Wild out based on points per hour.
that comes down to your preference, man. I mean, maybe you
Yeah,
can't tolerate watching them skate around and scoring 0 goals for 3 hours versus a
Yeah.
bunch of dunks and fun point scoring, and someone's going on a heater for threes, and then they lose in the last 5 minutes, which is every NBA ever.
Sure.
It's you don't need to watch anything except for the last 3 minutes because they're all high score. They're almost all relatively close, but that's not the case for NHL.
So here's what I think. I love this. I love what you did here.
Yeah.
Like, no joke. This is very, very cool, and I'm like ready to like learn more about the links because of it. But I think the one thing that is missing is a subjective and a reason that people, not just that they watch sports, like they're not watching just for points or even just like virtuosity in like a really good player. I think they want storylines as well. And that's what I'm wondering. Does the WNBA, do the links have like storyline? And maybe I'm thinking this too because I just finished watching Winning Time, the HBO thing, right? And the whole and then I found myself watching. I mean, HBO's a genius because they then put this documentary about the Magic Johnson Larry Bird rivalry up. Like it was made in 2012, but I'm in the middle of watching the whole thing because it just fascinates me. Like these rivalries and stories and things are a big reason I think people like me at least watch sports. That's why I loved Hard Knocks, the HBO special, and I loved like whoever is in Hard Knocks that season. I like kind of want to watch their games during
Because
the
you know
season.
those.
Like, it's not a
you know
Minnesota
the.
thing, 'cause, like I know the players, I know the storylines, and so if you could tell me that the links or have that,
Well, look into
then
it a
I
little
would be,
bit.
like, all in.
I think the WNBA is trying real hard to provide that because
To
they
foster
recognize
that,
that that's the recipe for success.
Yeah.
And just to maybe like, I don't know, get you on that path a little bit. So the Lynx have had all that success. They've had a terrible start to this season. Like I told you, they haven't won a
Be a
game,
comeback
which
kid
is not
story. I
like
would
them.
love
Did
that.
their season just start?
Right.
Are they really 4 games in?
They're like 4 or 5 games in, so you can catch most of the season. The situation they're in is they've had 2 incredible superstars that helped lead them to all those. Whalen, who I think is the coach now,
Yeah.
and the other was Maya Moore, who is no longer playing for the team, and they've been unable really to replace those 2 players. The supporting cast is now aging a little bit, and they're trying to look for fresh, young, good players. Right now, the pot of gold as far as fresh young players is Paige Beckers out of UConn. She's a sophomore in college, women's college basketball, and the big deal on her since NCAA went to allowing the NIL deals so that college players could make money with advertisers without sacrificing their ability to play college ball. She has made, Gio, help me with this. She has made she's like one of the top 5 money making college players or something ridiculous.
I think she was
never
the
expect
first one.
women's sports to be that.
The only deal I know she signed a 7-figure deal with StockX to be like their representative.
Like
StockX is no, it's like a
it's like an online auction house for
sneaker resale
swag and stuff.
Yeah, and
yeah, I mean, but
like
it's
like a $10 billion company, Mitch. StockX, and I think that was the first big athlete they signed was Paige.
So she will be. There's some rule in the WNBA that you can't come out until a certain years of college or a certain age. Yeah. But absolutely, there will be teams tanking at her. And there's talk about, because I think she's from Minnesota.
Yeah, she went to Hopkins.
there's talk about
Okay.
the Lynx
All right.
being still a year out from her eligibility, but it's time to start tanking for Paige and sort of rebuilding that franchise. So
Tanking.
this
What
is
does
all
tanking mean? Is that a term? What's tanking
Intentionally,
mean? That's a sports
intentionally
thing?
you
losing
don't
to
know.
get a better
That's
draft
purposely losing games or purposely not putting your best. Because the
Oh,
draft
because then they get a
works-
better pick, better draft
Yes.
pick or something.
Yes. Yes.
And that's why
Now-
the NBA is lottery drafted, because they don't just want to be worst team gets the first pick. That's how the NFL works. But the NBA basically says if you're the worst team, you get 20 ping pong balls for the first pick. But if you're the second worst team, you get 18 ping pong balls. So but yeah,
So
it
the Lynx are having to look themselves in the mirror right now and decide, what are we doing to rebuild? How are we going to get back to our glory days? Their coach was a big part of those glory days, and there's a lot of turmoil. I gotta believe
Can't
that
shoot the shots
starting
anymore.
starting
Oh,
off
all right.
at 0 wins is only amplifying the turmoil because
All
we
right,
expect
I'm in.
more.
We should just check in on the Lynx as a little segment. We can do that.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe
so that was the other
Mitch.
thing. That was the other thing I was gonna say is that if like people can just decide to be into something, like we could just all decide to be into something, and if you guys were all in it and like knew it was happening, I mean, we were like very into professional golf a few years ago, and we'd like text during tournaments and stuff. We do a little bit maybe during majors now, but like it used to be intense, and it was just because we all decided to like be into it. So maybe we should
Remember
just
though,
decide to be into
we
the Lynx.
Here's my
That's the
proposal.
You guys remember
into
NASCAR in
Lynx?
college? We tried to get into NASCAR in college under that same banner.
Really?
I
I
believe.
didn't.
I don't think I
did.
tried.
I don't
I
think
don't remember
anybody
that.
actually
I wasn't
wanted
part of
to.
it. It wasn't a trend. So
F1 is the new like global trend.
So F1
right
is
now.
one that I'm starting to like love now because of Drive to Survive. Have you
Documentaries?
guys watched Drive
Yeah,
to
it's
Survive
good.
yet?
Yeah,
It's really good, and I'm like I find myself looking up stats now, but I also don't really want to watch things live. I want to wait until it's like crafted for me by Netflix.
Well, so
like the
here,
storyline.
Mitch, here's my proposal then. You haven't had a segment in God knows how long. Mitch
Mitch
is
reports
going
the
to be
Lynx.
our crafter for the Lynx. You are going to create a compelling, storyline to help us follow the Lynx through the season.
I
It's
can
only
set
just
you up with a
begun.
little
You're-
sportscaster scene with a. I can cut over to you like you work
Put
at
a
a news
blazer
desk.
on.
Yeah.
Are you up for this? You got the time? You got the energy?
Think I am. I mean, it might be the adaptogens talking, but let's do it.
I love it. All right. Awesome.
I'm thinking we should like expand our sporting horizons. Like this feels like just tons of challenges. Let's go to an MLS game. Let's all go to a Lynx game together. Like
Yeah.
let's get into this. Let's go a little deeper. Let's figure
wait
out how
now.
fun
I mean,
these things
'cause-
are.
So what you just said is very unrealistic, though, and I think the way Chad portioned this
Yeah.
out on commitment level is like perfect, right? Like Lynx
Sure.
is lowest commitment for like minutes that you have to watch, which is important to me, and like we're not gonna go to a MLS game. Come on, guys. There's no way are the four of us gonna go to a soccer game.
I could get you guys to an MLS game.
If I had
I have just
3
enough
hours to
planning
spend
to
with
make
you
that
guys, I would
happen.
want to go golfing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, there may be.
Now,
So
I could
let's
see
say.
us taking all our daughters to a Lynx game.
Absolutely. And getting phenomenal seats, right? Like
Right.
being right there in the target.
Courtside, check us out. ESPN3. We'll wear Good Guys to Know swag.
But
straight from the
that would
Zazzle
be so
store.
much better if we'd followed them throughout the season. We know the
couple
players. We know something about some of their, weird personal life dealings and all of that kind of stuff, and who likes who, and who's getting along with the coach, and who isn't, and where the team's headed, who totally blew up a presser the other day. These kinds of things. So let's do it. It's there.
I'm in.
It's available to us.
I'm so in. Let's do this.
I gotta go find these archived losses, these first 4 losses, and watch them all.
Yeah, time to do your research.
Love Puff. This was way more than a challenge. This was like
our
a
pillar.
main pillar for sure.
Turned out to be fun.
Totally.
Jeffrey, can I actually have like a question though that I want to ask that can be pillar-esque, and I think you're primed probably to talk about it right now.
Because
So
I've been
you
drinking.
are about
or...
to head out on a golf trip.
Yes, I am.
As long as you don't anger your wife in the next
And
couple of
get COVID. Those are really the two major hurdles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, part of this golf trip is going to be having caddies while you're golfing, right?
True. Every round.
I've never played golf with a caddy. Maybe we should start with that. Mitch, have you ever? Like in a professional caddy
One time at Bandon, Sand Valley.
at Sand Valley? Perrick?
Yeah, Sand Valley.
And Gio, you have at least once.
I think 3 times I've had a caddy in my life.
Okay, so the idea,
One time it was me, though.
Eventually going across the pond to play at St. Andrews, hopefully if we can get on, in not too long from now, and we will be playing with caddies. And that, at this point, terrifies me. So I want to know everything I need to know about caddying, having a caddy while I'm golfing. Like from start to finish. Like, how are they assigned? What should I expect? How do I prepare him for what he's about, him or her, for what they're about to witness? How do I use them to the best way I can? How much should I expect to pay them? What is tip? All this stuff. All of this. I need a course on caddying.
Can I start with a general thing?
For sure.
Yeah.
The patients that come to you, Chad, do not agonize about what they should do or how they should act or what they just come to you because you're providing a very valuable service to them.
Yeah.
Right? And this is
I
caddy,
suppose.
this is their job. And so you don't need to do anything. They
But
figure out, at least the one that I had, he like figured out my swing, figured out kind of my tendencies over the first couple holes, figured out my personality. Like that's what they're good at, especially the ones that caddy at these places. And so like you don't really need to worry about it.
But the difference is, I think, or at least what I'm convincing myself to do, that if someone's coming to me, it's because they know, like they're having trouble with something and they're seeking me out, right? I have this understanding that like caddies are for good players, and I don't consider myself a good player. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm coming to it with, is like weird, like I have to be on my best game that day. Otherwise this caddy's going to be like, oh, fuck, what are we?
No.
You know, like that kind of a thing.
So,
but that's not the case. And I think that comes from watching the PGA and their caddies for all the years.
That's not how most caddies work. I mean, no matter
I'm telling
who you
them
are,
to like, okay, hit like a 5-yard draw, but be sure to get under that. Maybe take a little off your 9-iron.
Right.
It's not like, oh shit, this guy has a bad slice. Like, aim further left, please, Mitch. Like,
there are two things.
Okay.
One is they've definitely caddied for better and worse players for nearly every person that they're with. And the other thing is it's very much a service industry. Like their job is to make your experience on the golf course more pleasant. And they do that primarily by giving you information that would take you hundreds of rounds to glean on by yourself. So that in of itself is valuable. I think the other thing like about these big trips for caddies is there are two kinds of caddies. One is like a regular caddy that's carrying your bag, and those caddies usually carry 2 sets of clubs, so that caddy's working for 2 people at a time. And then the other is a 4 caddy, which would be like someone who is giving your whole group general information but not carrying any clubs. And very often part of that 4 caddy means they like go stand out in the fairway where the drives are going to land and like know where misses are bad and know where balls tend to get lost, so they see where things come down.
So they can help you find your ball.
Exactly.
Which even that would
tell
be
you where
great.
to aim.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
the other cool thing about this going as a big group is that we're playing like, I don't know, like 8 rounds over 5 days or something. And we are paired up. Like there's one guy that I'm golfing with every round. And we are going to have the same caddy for all of our rounds.
That's interesting.
Oh, cool.
So in that sense, like we'll get a chance to like know these people a little more, and they'll get to know our games, and then I think
hopefully you don't
especially
get it good.
that's a possibility. But when you go to these really nice places, like they don't hire shitty caddies. Like all of them are good at their job, and like just like when you go to a bar and you have a good bartender, like I feel like that's not dissimilar from having a good caddy. Like the small talk is fun, they make your life better, and the only thing I think that like to be a good golfer with a caddy is just to like be nice to them. You know what I mean? Like don't be a dick and throw your clubs. Like
I can't
they're
imagine
literally there
being
to
a
help
dick
you.
to a caddy.
Right.
I would
But
be much more worried they were going to be. I guess.
yeah, but there are lots of little things like if you're going to go get a drink at the turn, like you should always offer to get your caddy a Gatorade or
Sure.
something like that. It's not just like I'll pay you more because you're good or bad, but like there are lots of things you can do that just like a good human would do to work with caddies.
Okay.
I think we should table this conversation because I'm gonna have a ton more experience
That's
with
fair.
caddies in
Okay.
2 weeks.
You've reduced my initial anxiety, and I appreciate that.
You should also. There are some
and-
good books that we've read over the years about caddy
Well,
stories and stuff.
I read The American Caddy
At St. Andrews,
At St. Andrews, that's a good book, but it's kind of more of like a storytelling
coming of
rather
age.
than-
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, they caddy for terrible golfers all the time, and
yeah.
that's not why they. I don't know. It's no sweat to them.
They're not judgy.
Yeah.
If you're bad at golf and nice, they'll love it.
I don't even like to golf with, like, the idea of going to a course by myself, knowing I was going to get paired with somebody. I would so much rather not golf that. I would really like.
I definitely have that same.
You know what I mean? Because it's like it's a 4-hour commitment, and I'm not good enough to just assume that I'll be able to play fine with them. No problem. Whereas I feel like Geoperic, that wouldn't be a concern. I'd worry that I was like holding people back. But anyways, enough about that. I'm excited to hear about your experiences with your caddy and advice, positives, negatives, all that stuff.
I can't wait to tell you guys about this trip. The best thing that's happened to me in the last week was 9 days ago. I went for a club fitting.
Oh.
Got a new driver, or fitted for a new driver, 3-wood and hybrid.
They're not going to be in for the trip. Right?
That was the thing. I was like, and I even told the guy, I was like, I'm not expecting them to be here for the trip. He's like, yeah, the earliest I've seen any of these clubs come back is 3 weeks, which for me was like, well, it would have to be less than 2 weeks. It would have to be like 11 days, 12 days for it to get here. 7 days after the club fitting. My wife was like, I think another package came, and I was like, no, we're not expecting anything. And she's like, it's got your name on it. And I was like, what? Like maybe my brother sent me a pair of shoes. And then there's this like beautiful oblong rectangular box out there from Callaway Golf. So
what'd you get?
Yeah, I got the Rogue LST driver and 3-wood.
Awesome.
And
smashing them.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good trip.
Yeah, baby.
So
Awesome.
I'll send you all some pictures. Maybe I'll post them in the Discord too, in case anybody else cares. But it could be pretty fun.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear the stories. I'm excited to get out there someday. This year was not the year, but
we'll get there. We'll get there for sure. Significant surrender.
Who's the reader?
Not me.
I think it's got to be me.
I think it's Peric too. I think you banged out a lot of them last week.
Yeah, I think I got a few.
You got
I'm
maybe
at
a
7,
triple.
Gio's at 6, Chad's at 5, Mitch is at 5, listeners are at 1.
Come on, listeners, join us.
Had a listener join in a few
fun.
eps. I think it
Follow
was
Listeners, if there's anybody listening, triple points awarded tonight.
Ooh.
I make the rules.
Absolutely
Any
not.
listeners? Yes,
Really?
any listeners? Yes, absolutely.
Double points. We're not there yet, are we? The triples?
I wish I could quickly confirm that it is me, because I don't want to waste a whole week just based on my hunch. It had to have been.
Pretty sure it's you.
We should
I
put it
read.
on the spreadsheet.
I read last week.
You
I could
read
put it on
last
the
week?
spreadsheet.
Must have scored points.
I did,
You
but I
read-
scored him early. I'm pretty sure it was Peric. I
I
thought
think
to
I got
myself,
2 and Parrot got 2 or something.
But it's whoever got the last one. I can just
Yeah,
go to
that's right.
Twitch quick and see our last.
Did you guys see that Phil withdrew from the PGA Championship?
no.
Oh,
Defending
I did-
champion withdraws from the PGA
that's
Championship.
surreal.
I did see an article saying that part of the reason for all this Saudi stuff is had a lot of gambling problems.
Did you hear the number?
No.
40 million lost in gambling.
Debts.
Yes.
Yeesh.
That's
a
the
lot.
rumor.
I
The book
pre-ordered
is-
that shit. I pre-ordered the Chipnut book
comes out
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yeah, it's like really soon.
Tomorrow or something, or 17th or something. It's something very. It's imminent.
It's either tomorrow or Sunday because I remember thinking like I would have to try to find it at like the airport.
What is it? Is it a
bookstore.
book on Phil or something?
I
Or
pre-ordered it on Audible, so I'm gonna listen to it. You should listen to it on the flight coming back. That'd be
Yeah, that's a
awesome.
good idea. I'll get that for sure. Yeah, it's a Alan Shipnuck book on Phil Mickelson, and it's
It's
damning.
when all the Saudi that phone call about this. Did you listen to the No Laying Up interview with him?
Who captained the Courageous?
I haven't. No.
with Alan
Shipnuck?
Shipnuck. I haven't heard that yet. No.
Oh yeah, not Phil. No.
Yes.
Oh, Beta, you just hop in the Discord in the lounge voice channel, and we'll drag you into the episode. The last episode was code names, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I read.
Really?
I'm looking at it. I had
Oh,
7.
I might
and I'm
have.
reading.
It might be me.
It's you.
It's
Gio
me.
got one right. New score 6 was the last chat.
Fuck me.
I thought
I'm
I
so
said
glad I
ship,
checked.
Like, dude,
Yeah,
it's a
good
sailing
work.
We were so close to
That's
pulling
Pele.
this
Oh,
off, you
man.
guys.
That would have been a what do they
I
call
was
that?
not in on the
Steal
deal.
the deal.
There, Beta's in lounge, ready to score double points.
All right.
Oh, this is a card I've never read before.
Brandon.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did it in the wrong app.
Beta.
Hold on.
Huh?
Brandon,
Back to the lounge.
Beta Brandon, back in the lounge. It's comfy there.
Two.
Hold on. I messed up my whole machine here. 1 second.
All right. You put Beta back in the lounge too.
Yeah.
Beta.
Brandon,
Beta Brandon.
you're in the
Hello?
room with us.
Is your mic on?
Are you muted?
Mike is not on.
Oh, give it a sec. I want to know if he's here for double or triple points.
Is it up to him?
We'll see. I guess.
Triple point seems extreme.
Listeners have only got one question right. It's
But they've only
almost
been here for
June.
one.
Yeah, but they could score 18 points
That would be incredible.
in one card.
Gio,
No
that's why
one's
Gio
done
likes
that ever.
basketball. Mitch is more of a
Ah.
hockey guy.
Yeah. I don't know if I could ever get behind. I did
That
go
is the
to
other thing-
I went to a professional baseball game in the course of this challenge. It's
Oh,
boring.
yeah.
Pretty boring.
Yeah.
We got to go to a Lynx game, you guys.
But how about Premier
Right.
League, right?
That's
Like,
how this should culminate.
you guys got into Premier League pretty big after you went to England or whatever, right?
No. I mean, no.
But I was going to mention just all the tension. Just with no scoring, you don't get a lot of
Yeah.
reward, but that tension is crazy.
That's what it is for hockey. That's what I felt watching the Wild. It's just like either you could be overjoyed or very disappointed at any moment.
I don't know what's going on, Brandon.
Third time's the charm.
Maybe?
Hey.
Hello?
I don't have you muted or anything. I brought you into the meeting room.
No.
Oh, I heard something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We're good.
Welcome
All right.
to the party.
So,
Welcome.
are we doing the dubs or the trips?
Yeah, are you here for double points or triple points, Brandon? We're trying to figure that out.
Up to him?
I'll take 2.5.
2.5. I
2.5
like
it
that.
is.
All right.
I like that. That's
Let's
generous.
make it hard
Negotiation.
on Peric's scoring system.
Yeah.
All right, just as a reminder to buzz in, you say your name, Everybody gets a chance to answer every question unless somebody gets it right. 6 questions. You guys ready?
Yep.
What European city attracts heady tourists to the hash, marijuana,
Perrick.
Mitch.
Perrick,
Brandon.
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam is correct. Nice work, Perrick. Only 1 point for you, please.
I can only go by ones. I'll honestly have
It's
to
gonna get
figure-
weird.
Oh no!
Come
I
on,
think,
Brandon.
I think there's a way I can do it. Anyway,
You have to multiply my 0 by 2.5, so.
There you go.
no, listeners have one. So
Well, but his points, right?
What's the next question?
What TV show played a role in the capture of fugitives Terrence Dirty McRae and Leonard
Chad.
Chad.
America's Most Wanted.
Bingo!
Oh, good guess.
Nicely done.
Good
That's-
guess.
That's really, really sharp. Excellent.
I know.
work.
I know.
I was
All right.
thinking fiction. I couldn't get out of a fictional show. I couldn't.
yeah,
I didn't
Yeah,
even,
that was great.
wasn't
that
even
was
on my
great.
radar.
Next question. What U.S. governor-elect mulled rappelling from the state capitol dome to his inaugural platform? Chad.
Jesse Ventura.
Let's go,
oh
Chad.
my gosh.
This
That's
is
awesome. The
wild.
only governor that I probably could name. Well, how lucky is that?
A governor who does weird stuff.
I was
Yeah.
thinking Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
way before. Wow. Nice.
Come on,
Nice,
adaptations.
Chad.
Come on.
Rest of the people
Come on,
get involved here.
Ashwagandha.
Next question. What Bret Easton Ellis book delves into the sordid life of Patrick Bateman?
Perrick.
A
Chad.
Chad?
What?
American Psycho.
I'm
That's
gonna play
correct.
that tape. I'm gonna play that tape.
I
now
heard.
for
I
sure.
did hear your name, Perrick, but I heard Chad's first.
Well, I mean, I understand
Patrick
that's what you're
Bateman.
saying. I get it.
What a great movie.
Wow. Okay, we get 2 questions. 2 questions left.
I've been sandbagging the whole time.
This card is built for you. What otherwise edible tropical fruit has urushiol, the oil that makes poison ivy itch, in its skin?
Perrick.
Chad.
Brandon.
I think Mitch was first.
Mango.
That's right.
That's what I was gonna guess. Good job, Mitch.
Great.
Wow.
Oh,
Now I'll have to
Chad.
read next time, and I scored 1 point, and Chad scored like 17.
Wow.
Okay, you guys are crushing this. Have we missed one yet?
We have
No.
5 right tonight. Oh, is there one more question?
There's one more question.
Yeah, mango's
Don't
not a
screw it
sport.
up, guys. Don't screw it up. What computer game takes players to Gen's house and Catherine's islands?
Brandon.
Mitch.
Chad.
Brandon?
Gonna take a wild shot in the dark. I'll say Resident Evil.
That is not correct.
Ooh.
I like the guess. That's a good guess. Mitch, you're next.
Is it Mist?
It is not. Chad?
Great game though. King's Quest.
No.
Oh. Wow,
Can I hear the question?
Yep. What computer game takes players to Gen's house and Catherine's islands?
there was a Catherine in Mist.
Yeah, I know.
Gen's house.
The
G-
mom.
Gen?
Ghen.
Oh.
Is that legal?
I don't
No.
care.
Perrick.
Perrick.
Super Mario Brothers.
No.
Carmen Sandiego.
No. The sequel to Mist.
Missed 2.
Riven?
Riven was the answer. Riven was the answer.
Wow.
That was gettable, you guys. I
There
thought
was
for
a
sure.
Catherine in Mist.
I thought for sure
my
when
gosh.
Beta buzzed in, I was like, "Oh, I think he's got this. Like this feels gettable."
Who
Oh,
played
I
Riven?
can't believe I
Did
was so
anyone play
close.
Riven?
I never played Riven.
I played
Me
Riven.
neither.
It was worse than Mist. It was.
I don't
it wasn't
think I
as
ever
like
even beat Mist.
innovative.
Mist was amazing.
It was very
Crazy.
into Mist.
And that means we didn't get the whole card. 5 of 6 is very good, but no perfect cards yet.
So
Chad got
I guess
4 of
the
'em.
original
Gets
and
to
not the
read.
sequel.
Yeah,
Chad got 3 of them.
tough look.
So I have to read next week. I got to open this
Mhm.
Trivial Pursuit that Chad sent me.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, Beta.
Wow.
Thanks for playing, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon.
See ya.
Um,
God.
What's 2.5 times 0?
Ooh, harsh.
Ouch.
Just kidding. Come back anytime. Next time, I won't be on a heater. This happens like a decade. These
That
guys
was
have played
crazy.
enough
That was-
trivia with me to
you
know
were-
I was on fire.
They were quick buzz-ins too, and just good gameplay. Like the Jesse Ventura, it's like, well, I'm not gonna know like some
course it is.
governor-elect from Idaho
Yeah.
from 1990, but I do know this governor. Like I'm just gonna guess it. Oh, just really top-notch stuff.
good stuff.
Any challenge ideas?
I don't know. I don't have one.
Watch a women's basketball game.
Yeah.
Watch a Lynx game. That's a great one. Watch a Lynx game
Let's
sometime
do
in
it.
the
Let's
next
decide.
2 weeks.
Let's decide for the GGTK community to
This
get
yeah,
into it.
This
Get
will mark our
Oh,
entrance.
Lynx. Yeah, let's do it. I'm in.
Okay. Set your DVRs. I don't even know when they play.
I gotta go. I got a kid that's still up. This is not looking good.
Ooh.
Good luck
We
with
He
that.
have
knows that golf trip's coming.
we have
Yeah.
Gardic working again.
Ooh, fired up,
Oh.
see boys.
All right, let's go do Gardic.
Yeah.
So let me go back to this. Okay, that should work. It cuts off a little bit, but I think we'll survive. So anybody in the Discord, hop over to the Gardic in the GGTK game room. Help us out. I don't know what our longest streak is. 24 is our record. So let's get at it. G dot restart. I don't. What is it? G dot hint or do I just type hint? I kind of forget.
There's
Here we
a
go.
Skip. There's a skip as
Yeah,
well,
there's a
right?
skip, but I don't know if I have to G dot.
What if it's this?
What is pi and Isa?
Yeah, that is weird. We might have to.
What is that? What do I do? Skip?
Yeah.
I don't know how much time we had, but it's a dumb drawing. What was that?
Really bugs me that they don't give you the answer
Yeah.
when you skip or. Nice.
We have 2 skips left, and I don't know how many hints we have. Whoa, oil, nice.
Nice
There you go,
beta.
Brandon.
Are we still like Are we still streaming?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and our video's all messed up because Gio left early. Oh, Chad also left? Yikes. Oh. Oh, it still doesn't tell us what it was? It's turtle?
Tortoise.
Oh.
Are you behind or something?
No. I don't think so.
How is that not a picture of a fish? How can it be anything? How can it be anything else?
What? Mm. Stupid.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, four
I
hints
guess I don't know
left.
how I would draw it, but
4 hints left on this turn.
you get 4 hints.
4 hints left. I think we get 5 hints total. Turn on a little music.
What's our record? Turning 20.